A Platinum League Protoss versus Terran. What I got for you today is a match played on Proxima Station LE. Spawning in the southwest corner, playing with the Brad Protoss probes, we have none other than Mac Payne. Not Max Payne, we have none other than Mac Payne, and his opponent, spawning in a cross position and playing in blue. He goes by the nickname of Bear Paw. Now, of course, this is indeed going to be a viewer-submitted replay. So if you have an absolutely wild game yourself as well, go ahead and submit it to replays@LowkoTV. Just simply go ahead and attach the .sc2 replay file to the email, and Motlises and Nuke have been going through as many as they can, and they have been selecting the best of the best for me to go ahead and cast. Now, the only thing that I know about this one right here, the title is Platinum League Confused. I'm not entirely sure what to expect from it, but we'll keep an eye out on exactly what both of these players are going to be doing in this particular match. Anyway, no cheesy opener just yet right here from Mac Payne. Of course, from a lot of the viewer-submitted replays, I have realized that most of them will open up with something pretty aggressive right here from the Protoss player, but one of the most common strategies is indeed going to be the cannon rush, but of course against a Terran opponent, since they can just simply lift up their buildings and get them out of there, generally speaking, that is going to be a little out of the ordinary. Mac Payne, however, is going to be capable of scouting around right here. He's going to try and figure out exactly what is going on here for the Terran player in blue. Bearpaw, surprisingly enough, opening up with 2 depots before putting up a barracks and any kind of additional tech. He is going to go ahead and eventually get the refinery, but the probe is stuck. No mineral walking on that one, which would mean that you just simply selects the drone or the probe or the SCV and just right clicks it on the mineral patch, because it does move through other units when you do exactly that. But it is going to end up falling there. It does get killed, and that means that Bearpaw is going to be unscouted here, at the very least for right now. Second gateway now also going down, as well as that cybernetics core, so Mac Payne is going to be capable of starting up this game right here with maybe a little bit of adept shenanigans. Neither player really going for any kind of super aggressive play just yet, and really not opening up with any kinds of expansions just yet either. I mean, we do see that single barracks going down here, but I mean, I highly doubt that this is going to be highly aggressive. I mean, Bearpaw does have the option right now to maybe go for a Reaper or 2, but I highly doubt that that is going to be the case. I'm assuming that I'm actually a little confused. Like, if you're building a barracks to start up a factory, you may as well just build the factory right here, right from the get-go, right? I mean, what exactly is this barracks going to do? He could technically go for like a Reaper cheese, but in that instance, you're going to start it up much earlier. He does get the engineering bay to get the +1 attack going right from the get-go. He's also double mining gas, so I'm assuming he's going to build a factory or something along those lines right here as well, but he could have just started up the factory right from the get-go. Yeah, there indeed, we do see it go down. We'll keep an eye out on exactly what he's got in store for us, because he is building up his army in a bit of a weird position. We do indeed see that Dark Shrine going down right here by Mac Payne. I saw the Twilight Council on that production tab. I assumed that it was going to be some Reaper harassment, just because he was already producing Reapers right here as well, and one of them is actually currently moving across the map with another dude right at his heels as well, who will be arriving on the other side of the map here shortly as well. But it looks like both players are indeed like opening up with something a little bit funny. I mean, there's no robotics facility here available, so he's not going to be able to send a war prism after this to try and deal some continued harassment with this as well. And I mean, the adept right there is going to be able to shade up and see that indeed this is going to be a full wall off, but it will also scout that the tech lab is only just now finishing up, and that is a very late tech lab right there. Combat shield actually has the very first upgrade, so no stimp back in this game whatsoever. And I think that Mac Payne is just simply, yeah, indeed, he's just simply going to build one pylon and then send this probe all the way back home to mine from the mineral patch right here in the main base. Meanwhile, right here on the left-hand side, we do see that tech lab finishing up right here on that factory. So I'm assuming he's going to build siege tanks? Siege tank Thors? Maybe something along those lines. I'm assuming it's going to be siege tanks, just because they're probably the more well-rounded unit. And there indeed, we do see that first siege tank in production. Nexus eventually does go down here as well, by the way, for Mac Payne. So he is planning to not quite go all in with this just yet. But shortly, I mean, I'm assuming that there's going to be a Dark Templar that will be warped in here to start nibbling away at these supply depots right here at the front. But there we go. I was gonna say he was actually not doing anything just yet, but there we go. He does finally start up the amount of production that he was looking for. Now, interestingly enough, I mean, nothing has really happened in this game just yet, other than Bearpaw apparently doing some long distance mining as well. Not entirely sure why you would do that, but regardless, not a whole lot has happened in this game just yet, but Bearpaw is already you know, having 50% more supply than his opponent. That is a big deal. First Dark Templar will be able to get on out of there. Now, of course, there is going to be a scan available. So I was going to say, like, yeah, I was going to say he needs to make sure that he scans right here. Otherwise, the DTs will get in there. One of them does end up getting killed, but the second and the third one will be able to get on out of there, and they will morph into an Archon. Merge together to one, you know, glorious glob of pulse energy, I suppose. But at the same time, Bearpaw, while he was making a lot of units right here on the left-hand side, and he's also making a bunker. What the heck is he doing? He's sending all of the units that he was producing there back home as well. So I'm assuming he's planning to maybe go for a surround and push on top of all of these Protoss units right when they finish up together. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, we do see the double missile turrets go down right now as well. So Bearpaw, while he has finished up, you know, the combat shield upgrade, he does not have Stimpak whatsoever just yet. And he once again will be forced to get a council right there. A couple of Marines on move command. No way! Bearpaw, what are you doing? Bearpaw, no! Wait, this is Platinum League. Guys! This is Platinum League. What server is this? That is insane. Now, of course, the only way I can know that this is going to be Platinum League and actually hold that thought because the... Oh my god, actually the Archons as well as the Adepts are currently moving onwards. They're starting to engage all of these units, and actually every single last of the Marines does end up falling. Now at the same time, there are still quite a few units here available, and Bearpaw is starting to deal damage right here to the debris in the back. He's going to be able to shell away at that Nexus here in just a little bit, but regardless, the only way I know that this is Platinum League is from seeing the, you know, the load up screen, right? I see the flag that both of these people, or the border around their portraits, that shows that both of them are in Platinum League. But of course, it always takes your highest division. So if you are, you know, say in Platinum League in 4v4, that one will show up in that border instead of, you know, the one that you actually are queuing up for. Regardless, this is a 1 versus 1, but I have got the feeling that neither of these players should really be in Platinum. I mean, I've seen a lot of people in Platinum League, and generally speaking, they're gonna be a little bit better at this, at the very least at executing, you know, standard strategies. So far, this is a little bit messy, but regardless, the siege tanks as well as the Marines have made their way past the rocks right there in the back. They're gonna be able to shell away at that natural here from the Protoss player. Protoss, however, has got the majority of his force here on the other side of the map. He could go ahead and just simply, indeed, start shelling away right here with a bunch of those Dark Templar. One of the Dark Templar does get used there. Another scan, however, was available, and a Bearpaw smartly is saving up a ton of energy, but eventually he's gonna be able to run out, right? So as long as he just keeps on warping in more and more DTs, this one will end up falling. Of course, if he can force the liftoff right there on that orbital command, that would shut down the amount of production right here as well, and that would really like not allow Bearpaw to go for any kind of scan anymore here whatsoever. However, another scan does go down, and 2 Dark Templar end up getting killed, as well as a single Stalker. More and more units are gonna go down here, and actually the last of the pylons that is countering the majority of this will end up getting killed as well, with one more pylon powering one lonely warp gate. Another command center now gets constructed here as well on the left-hand side, right to the north of where the original production of the Terran player was located. MacPayne, however, still continuing the harassment right here, and he's going to be able to kill, well, at the very least, the vast majority of the SCVs, whereas the Terran player is now cleaning up a lot of these buildings as well. Finally, he does decide to go ahead and, you know, siege up these tanks to go ahead and start dealing some damage to this Dark Shrine. No more Dark Templar here for the Protoss player, and while the Protoss is desperately queuing up as many probes as he can, and he's actually now also bringing these units back home, I'm starting to wonder if there's not just simply a little bit too many Terran units. I mean, look at the amount of army here for that Terran player, even unsieged. There is absolutely no way that MacPayne can go ahead and engage this. He does still have a huge amount of army actually on the other side of the map, just mostly hanging out there, not using the all army hotkey, but really not getting that much value out of this engagement either, because the majority of his forces are indeed caught on the other side of the map. Couple of probes are still out. Did they just scout that that base was up? Yes, they most definitely did. So that means that with that Nexus going down, MacPayne will shortly be revealed. Couple of the units now trying to go ahead and engage. I don't know if this was the smart decision. A lot of these Archon end up taking damage, and one of them ends up falling. The second one, I think, may end up getting killed here as well with all of the Adepts. That was a huge loss right there, and MacPayne has not rebuilt their base, so that means that the Terran player in blue will be able to see where every single one of of these buildings is going to be located. There is one pylon here on the other side of the map, but other than that, every single one of these buildings is inside of the old Protoss main base, and I think that within a couple of seconds they will end up getting killed. The question is though, what exactly does McPain want to go for right now? He knows of this final command center. The command center has queued up SCVs right there for days. He does end up canceling all of those, and he's gonna try and fly to get on out of there. The thing is that I think there's gonna be enough anti-air to at the very least get this command center to start burning, which of course means that eventually it will start losing enough HP there to burn out. Well, it actually, ooh, there we go. Yeah, just in a nick of time, it does go into the red HP. So indeed, that will end up getting killed here in just a minute or two from now. The problem is, however, that there is still a factory as well as a barracks, and they're going to be able to float off into a corner. And there is literally no way that McPain would ever be able to get it out of there. How would McPain ever obtain a victory? Sure, this command center will burn out, right? And it will reveal after about a minute or so that the last Terran buildings are going to be floating off in a corner, but Bearpaw cannot reach that. Rather, McPain cannot reach that. If Bearpaw just simply floats that building here in the bottom left corner, there's literally no way that the Protoss can obtain a victory anymore at this point in the game. Another pylon does now finish up here as well in the top right corner of the map. Of course, this is in full vision. He did not have enough money right there to start up another command or another nexus. Actually, the Protoss player is just simply trying to get this base to get killed as well. But shortly, the Terran player will now also be revealed. And indeed, in about 10 seconds from now, the Protoss player will have full vision of exactly where the last of the Terran buildings are located. Now, we know of one tech lab, but there is going to be, a factory right here, as well as a barracks just simply hanging out here in the bottom left corner of the map. And I'm starting to wonder if McPain should not go ahead and run for these pylons, because as it is right now, there is no way he can go ahead and defend against these. There's two pylons right here that are very easy to pick off. Protoss immediately does start moving to try and, intercept these Terran units from dealing damage. And I think this all comes down to whether or not Bearpaw can go ahead and take down the last of these buildings before the opponent can try and get the kill. Where are you going? Oh, he's gonna try and walk around. I don't know if that is a smart decision. I think you would be much better off just facing this Protoss army head on and trying to fight these. He's actually gonna go for the rocks. I think that may be a good option, but I'm starting to wonder if it's not a little bit tricky. Of course, he does not know precisely where the last of these Protoss units are going to be located. Protoss now fully knows as well that the last of the Terran buildings are floating off in a corner, and I think that McPain wants to just simply sit on top of this pylon. He does not have any more minerals. The thing is, of course, that there is also no SCV available anymore right now for the Terran player to really produce anything. So, I mean, this is the last of the probes. You may as well go ahead and use that one in an engagement, because you can't build anything. I don't think you want to move down that ramp, my man. I don't think you want to move down that ramp. There's going to be siege tanks ready to go ahead and shell away. And I think that actually McPain... No, you don't want to engage that. I mean, if he's going to engage that, I'm going to be utterly wrong. But I'm pretty sure that McPain is trying to squeeze out a draw. I mean, let's look at this, right? There is no way he can win this game unless Bearpaw somehow moves these units away. The thing is that if you don't kill buildings for a certain amount of time, and I don't even know exactly what the timer is. I mean, I have played tens of thousands of games of StarCraft myself, and I have seen it like once or twice. To see a game go to a point where a draw may be forced. At this point in time, I mean, there's no way Bearpaw can kill this last pylon. Is there? I mean, unless he manages to push up this ramp and the Protoss player just randomly sacrifices a bunch of these units. Yeah, like that. I mean, I think that this may very well be a draw. The thing is, a timer will happen here. I don't know exactly when it happens. I think it's about a couple of minutes into the game. If neither player has done any damage to any of the buildings here for a little while, and both players are indeed revealed. Something along those lines is what the rules are. It is such an uncommon thing, and it barely ever happens in professional StarCraft 2. I mean, Bearpaw is leapfrogging these siege tanks forward to try and do as much damage as he can. I mean, he's going after those debris right here in the back of the natural expansion as well. Well, the natural if you were to take that base first. But rather, yeah, there we go. This game will end in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And Bearpaw right there, oh man, he's realizing it. For both of these players, this is likely the very first time that they're seeing this, and Bearpaw knows that the final building that he needs to kill is right there. Maybe there's a chance if he just simply grabs all of the units and just right-clicks on top of that pylon that he gets the victory right here, right now. 2 Stalkers actually at the top of this ramp. There is a very small chance. No, you gotta move up! You gotta move up! You gotta move up! Go kill him! There's only 2 Stalkers! There you go. You should try and go ahead and just simply push up that ramp if you could. Oh, man, I think he had a chance. I think he had a chance to go ahead and pick them up. The thing is, of course, that a lot of lower league players only use siege tanks while they are sieged up. Spoiler alert, they are perfectly viable also while unsieged. They actually deal an awful lot of damage to stalkers in smaller numbers, even when you don't have them sieged necessarily. But I think that McPain, he's just simply gonna sit right here in this corner of the map, keep track of exactly what this Protoss player is doing, and he knows right now that the majority of these Protoss units are gonna be sieged up right outside of his opponent's old main base, and he's not going to be capable of allowing this Protoss play. Like, the thing is, of course, with this barracks, right, he's going to be able to get some high ground vision, so there's a small chance that Bearpole will be able to get a couple of shells off on top of all of these units. But as long as McPain does not walk in radius right there of those siege tanks, he's going to be in a pretty good position. Of course, the Adept still scouting around right here as well, and I actually do really like this. I think that this may be a forced draw. I think that this may be a forced draw. Bearpole, though, smartly moving onwards. You don't want to sit right there, McPain. You gotta be very careful, my man. That barracks is doing a lot of valuable scouting. And, I mean, the factory is still hanging out there. So there is absolutely no clue here McPain is not going to be able to obtain a victory here. Once again, a shade gets activated. This is just to buy time. Just to buy time. He only needs 15 more seconds. Protoss player will be able to defend this pylon right now because Terran is not moving forward. Well, he's moving, but it's very slow. A single unit getting killed right there does not reset the timing. You specifically have to go ahead and kill a building. I actually think the Bearpaw should just simply go ahead and kill his own barracks here to try and lengthen the duration of this game. But indeed, in a very unorthodox game, this match ends up being a tie. I wonder how many of you have seen this screen before. There is no race victory right here. No Terran, no Protoss, no Zerg shows up right here. Instead, it's just the good old StarCraft 2 logo explaining to us that this game indeed resulted in a tie. That is so uncommon. That is not something you see every day. I watch and play so many games of StarCraft, and like I said, I've only seen this like once or twice in like the last 7 years. I hope you enjoyed watching this match. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright, and I will see you in the next one.